Hello and good evening, everybody.
Hello, welcome. Welcome back. Hello, everyone. We have still a few people in the waiting room joining us, so we'll give everyone a chance to join us. In the meantime, let us know how you feeling. How are you feeling on this Thursday? Let us know in the chat. How is it going? You can even just share an emoji. Just let us know what's the energy. One word, one emoji. How are you feeling?
So nice to see lots of familiar faces. Lovely to see some new faces. That's wonderful. And I think I'm going to stop my introduction, Solo, and will you let everyone into the room once we started? So a very warm welcome to everybody. We are at part 3 of our intuitive series, and I always say we've kept the best to last. I don't know if all of you eat like that, but the best to last always works for me. So tonight I'm super excited. I am hosting this evening with Sole Chirco, who has worked so closely with the school for a number of years. She is also a spiritual channel, a teacher, and a mentor. She's an accredited healer with the school. She is going to be a lead tutor on our healing course starting this weekend in London. She's a Reiki master, she's a crystal healer, but her craft from when she was young and for, I'm not even going to say how many years because I might share, I think 30 years. Um, She's been working with the tarot, which makes her a master of mastery of tarot. And tonight she's going to be taking us through the seasonal tarot energy cleanse. Hell, I need it. Um, and I don't know about everyone else, but I'm excited to see what's going to come out of this evening because definitely I can feel the shift and the changes in the seasons. I can feel I've been in the Northern Hemisphere. I recently flew down to the Southern Hemisphere, so I'm excited to clear both the Northern and the Southern Hemisphere energies, and really looking forward to this evening. I just want to mention, because it's really good, we have a special on for our foundation in tarot starting around about the 19th of May. And I'm just going to tell you about this now in case some of you have to drop off, etc. Solo will post the link in the chat. But there's a £15 discount if you book before midnight tomorrow, or a R150 discount on the course. So if you are going to join us, please book at that time such that you get the discount and that you enjoy the foundation. I'm not going to say much more because I'm going to leave it to my um, to Soleil, who will take us through what I know is going to be a fantastic, fun, interactive evening, as always. Really lovely to see our community coming together. Enjoy the evening, ask questions if need be. Over to you, Soleil.
Thank you. I always feel that after these introductions, I have such big boots to fill. You heard like my entire CV at this point. But anyway, the only thing that you need to know about me for tonight is I love tarot. And I describe myself as a tarot cupid. I want to make as many people as possible fall in love with tarot. It has indeed been 30 years, 3 decades more or less since when I started with tarot. And it's a relationship that keeps on growing, it's a relationship that keeps on getting deeper. And and I learn more every day, every time. Every time that I teach, I learn something new from my students as well. So it's a beautiful journey. This evening, we're going to interact with the tarot in a slightly different way. We're going to use it, yes, for a little bit of predictive work. You're going to get personalized messages, but we're also really tapping into these magical energies to shift the energy within yourself. So it's almost like a bit of a cleanse, a bit of a shift of your energy. But I always think, well, if we're making space, we might as well invite something new and better into our own field. So we are cleansing and clearing, and then to use a word that maybe I'm not such a fan of, but it conveys the concept, manifesting the new, embodying the new, bringing into the physical the new. So with all of that said, find a really nice, comfortable spot in your chair because I'm about to start sharing some information with you. You will notice tonight I have slides, not because I want to be boring or because I want you to read everything on the slides. It's simply because I have prepared some readings for you. So if you want to screenshot some of the slides to maybe read some of the messages again later on, you can do that. So you know how it is. Sometimes the messages take a couple of reads or a couple of listenings to really settle into your energy. So with all of that said, let me start sharing my slides with you. And if at any point you have any questions, you want to interact in any way, please feel free to use the chat. And I'm sure Cindy will let me know if there are any questions or anything that I need to reply to. Okay. Lovely. So hopefully you can all see my screen. Welcome to our seasonal tarot energy cleanse. Whether you're in the northern hemisphere, you're enjoying a little bit more of the warmer vibes, warmer weather after the spring equinox, or you're in the southern hemisphere and maybe you're thinking about shedding some leaves, this is the perfect energetic container for you to be in. We're going to clear stagnant energy, and it could be very small. It could be a small day-to-day habit that you just want to shed, that you don't want anymore in your energy, or it could be something a little bit more deep, something that maybe you've been working on for some time, something that is a little bit more annoying. I'll leave it up to you to choose what you work on this evening. I'll guide you through a process, and I'm sure that the right thing will come up for us. So, if you don't know me, I'm going to go very quickly on this because Cindy has already introduced me. But at this point, I have worked with thousands of clients, given thousands of readings in all sorts of different contexts, and I had hundreds of students going through the course that I've lovingly crafted. So, everything that I'm going to share this evening comes from books, comes from learning, but also comes from a lot of real life experience. So, if you find some of the meanings, things that are like, oh, I never heard that before. Google didn't tell me about this. Well, Sole told you about this from her experience. So I'm going to share real life energy, real life experiences, and real life messages. And hopefully that's going to make you feel like they resonate with you a little bit more closely. This evening, we're going to start with messages for you. We all love to receive a little message, a little guidance, a little intuitive steering in the right direction. We'll look at the month of May and macro energies, okay? So everything that is in the background, the umbrella energies that we're all working with. And the way that I like to describe this is imagine that you've been invited to an event. The way you would dress and present yourself would be very different if it was, let's say, either a black tie event or if it was a picnic in the park. That's your macro energy. That's the invitation of the universe for you for the month of May. How you show up, for how long you show up, what you wear is entirely up to you, but that's the invitation that comes from the universe. So those are the macro energies for May that we're going to tap into first so that we know what to expect from the month of May. And then we're going to work with you individually, and I'm going to talk you through a process to select a card that is for your personal guidance, for your personal energy and where you are now, and specifically looking at what needs to be released and cleansed and shifted, and really giving you clarity going forward. We're going to then go into some energetic upgrades and clearings after that. And finally, as I said, we're going to cover some manifestation magic with the tarot. Before we do all of that, I I think it's nice to be our best selves before we dive into more information. And what better way than have a moment to just arrive, connect with our energy, connect with our body. So I invite you all to take a moment to join me in this short but very profound and effective opening visualization. So please place your feet on the ground if you can. Uncross your legs if you would like to, uncross your arms, close your eyes, and just take one moment to arrive. Maybe take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And just follow whatever pace feels right for you at this time. And take a moment to really connect with the body. And sometimes at the end of a busy day, it's nice to like gently tap the body, connect with our physical vibration, reminding ourselves of where we are physically, how it feels to be here, how it feels to be incarnated. And from your heart center, visualize a golden cord that drops down into your base chakra and down into the ground, all the way into the center of the planet, reaching as deep as it feels comfortable and safe and appropriate for you at this time. And allow your energy to guide you in this process, making that connection from your heart space into the heart of the planet, into the heart of Mother Earth, and feel that nurturing, safe, kind energy. Allow that sense of support and stability and steadiness to replenish your own energy. Take what you need, take what your energy needs. And feel this gentle but firm expansion, gentle and firm grounding. And notice how your heart space is expanding, blossoming with this beautiful grounding energy coming into your vibration. And from your heart space, I also invite you to connect upwards. Visualize this golden cord going up all the way, connecting to the highest vibration that is available to you at this time. The highest vibration that resonates with you at this time, the highest vibration that resonates with the highest good, not just yours, but the highest good of everyone involved. And call in the sense of peace and alignment and unity and belonging. Really feel like you're part of something larger and bigger. Call in that expansion and allow it to expand your own energy. Feel the universal energy, grounding energy, and your own heart energy mixing and balancing each other and providing that beautiful grounding, that safe sense of alignment, and that beautiful sense of kindness and compassion and calm. You feel your energy pinching you somewhere? If it's a little bit uncomfortable somewhere in your body, if it feels a little bit tight, give it more space. Allow your energy to expand more, and this really helps diluting any energy that is stagnant And once we dilute it, it's so much easier to just push it out and release it. Let's get ourselves into the space and intention that this evening we're going to receive guidance that is appropriate, accurate, timely, and for the highest good of all involved. That this guidance is practical and supportive. Take a moment to center yourself in your heart and quietly affirm to yourself, I am grounded, I am clear, I am protected. Take another nice deep breath in and out and bring yourself back into our Zoom call. Okay. Before we begin, if you haven't seen me giving these talks before, just a little intro. There are no good or bad cards in tarot. There are shadow aspects and light aspects to all 78 of the cards. So even some cards that look a little bit more grumpy and threatening, they still have a light side. And even the ones that look very happy and fun, they also have a shadow side. So with that in mind, we're going to step into the energy of May. So for the energy of May, we have two macro energies at play. And I really wanted to give you some information of not just the overall energy, but what pushes and pulls are we going to feel? How are we going to experience this energy? How, perhaps what challenges we're going to encounter. So I pulled these two cards for us to really reflect on this collective energy. And you have them there on the screen on my slide, but I pulled these two cards, the Moon and the Knight of Wands. So we have the Moon, which is a major arcana. It carries big archetype, it carries a big energy. And then we have the Knight of Wands that is quite spicy, it's quite fast acting, and it's quite dynamic in its energy, where the Moon is quite feminine and deep and slow. So immediately we can see, even by just looking at the pictures, that there might be a little bit of contrast, that there might be two different flavors to this dish that are a little bit maybe of an acquired taste. So how do we bring them together? Let's start with the Moon. What is the Moon? What does it stand for? How do we interpret it for May? And as I said, there is information on the slides, and that's for you to screenshot if you want to go back and take a look later on. So with the Moon in May, we really feel that sense of mystery and unknown. The waters of the Moon are deeply feminine, they're mysterious, they're sometimes not clear. And in May, this suggests to us that there might be some situations or some thoughts or some relationships that might feel a little bit unclear or uncertain. So we need to a certain sense prepared not to get maybe all the clarity that we wish we would have. So if you're in a stage in your life where you're thinking, I need to know what's going to happen and I need to know now, you might need to take a step back and allow that Moon energy to be a little bit more mysterious for the month of May, and just allow that to happen, not getting discouraged by it, but just appreciating that that's a macro energy that is at play for us. So this also means that if you're making big life decisions, you might feel a little bit clouded. And so the empowering guidance here is, don't feel bad about yourself. Don't give yourself a hard time. It is a macro energy that allows us to go deep. And sometimes when we go deep, it's not as easy to see the sun shining. It takes a little bit of time for us to process certain things. It is, however, the realm of intuition. So intuition is going to be key for us in May. It's going to be guiding us even when our brain, our rational mind is foggy, even when we're trying to maybe create an Excel spreadsheet, making a plan, putting post-its in place with our to-do list. Intuition is going to be the key. Intuition is going to be the key alongside emotions. So our psychic intelligence, our intuitive intelligence, as well as our emotional intelligence is going to be absolutely key for the month of May. So questions to ask yourself is, what guidance am I receiving here? How am I feeling about this? Rather than what should I do? Rather than what do I think? Where is the clarity? So this is an extremely important first energy to connect with. There is also a invitation to really trust the process. Now, if you're anyone like me, that's not going to come easy to you, and I'm there on that bandwagon with you. It's sometimes difficult to just trust the process, but it's an invitation to really allow those deep currents to express themselves. Now, that's for the moon, but we saw that there was another energy at play, right? The energy of the Knight of Wands. And here we shift the gear dramatically. The Knight of Wands is very masculine. It's sassy, it's fiery, is maybe even a little bit aggressive. He loves bold action. He is all about enthusiasm, adventure, entrepreneurship, new journeys, moving and shaking, all of those things. So this is an opportunity to really connect with what we desire, with the opportunities that we're seeking, and really go after what makes us feel alive and excited. This energy can be impulsive at times. You know, if you look at the card, is just ready to rush and run, is all fired up and ready to go. So the shadow side of this card is it's really about channeling our grounding and our emotional intelligence as we charge ahead with passion. So these two energy might feel a little bit maybe disconnected, deep and feminine on one side, and very masculine and forward looking on the other side. So how do they come together for May? There is definitely going to be a push and pull energy of caution versus momentum. I called it here. And this is really a moment for you to kind of check in with yourself. And if you feel an urge to really pursue your passions, your desires, and actions, the moon here is offering that grounding, calming influence. There is suggesting you deeper reflection, is suggesting that you listen to your intuition and that you listen to your emotions. Not just the adventurous side of you, but all the deeper layers of your emotion. Now, this is a time where maybe you will have lots of inspiration and creativity, and then a little bit of doubt coming after. That's fine. We know it's coming. We can recognize it. We're not going to be upset or frustrated by it. We know that these are the energies that we're working with. On the plus side, this balance of action and introspection can really give us such an incredible platform for us to build action that is aligned with our highest good, action that is aligned with our emotional needs, action that is aligned not just with our next step or our earthly goals, but really going much deeper into a broader picture, a more intuitive definition of success and achieving goals, a more spiritual way of embodying them. Okay, so clarity will emerge, I promise. We just need to give the moon time to unfold, to weave and unweave her beautiful energy. So let me know so far, one, if this makes sense, and if perhaps you're starting feeling some of this energy already. It's the 24th of April, we're already stepping into the May energy, we're getting closer to that. May starting next week. So let me know in the chat if you're starting to feel some of this energy and how is that starting to show up for you. Today I started to feel it. Yes. Absolutely. We are called to build action for the highest good, and clarity will evolve. As long as our intentions are aligned and reflected in our actions, clarity will come. Lovely. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you to do a little bit more work with me. And let's see, there are more comments. Yes, feeling it today too. Okay, interesting. I've been feeling the urge to start new projects. Yeah, definitely that Knight of Wands. Lovely. The energy did feel different today. Yeah. Yeah, starting to shift. And I feel like as people who are maybe more energetically aware, that's not to say that we're perfect or wonderful or anything like that, but we started picking up shifts a little bit in advance. We can see the ties changing, and we started picking up on energetic shifts before they happen. So I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of intentional work with me now, because we're going to move into a space where we look at your personalized guidance. So this was our invitation for the party that we were invited to, but we're now going to go a little bit deeper in your personal choices and what comes for you next. Okay. We're going to do a reading where I have prepared already the energy of 3 different cards, and the intention behind this reading is: what is the current state of my energy, and what do I need to acknowledge to move forward with clarity? So what is the state of my energy right now, and what do I need to acknowledge to move forward with clarity? Okay, so we're taking stock of where we are right now, and we're asking the cards to give us a guidance of what we need to acknowledge and be aware of to move forward with clarity, right? So we're honoring with this question both the moon, we're going deep and we're connecting with where we are right now, but we're also honoring the Knight of Wands, right? Because we want that clarity to move forward, aligned action. This is the question that we're going to ask. So I ask you to hold this intention for you. And then I'm going to ask you to just intuitively pick one card. 1, 2, and 3. And I'll tell you a little behind the scenes secret. When I created these little reveals, I actually have the image of the card on the slide, and then I put something on top. So that gray rectangular shape that you see is actually overlaid on the actual image of the card. I think this way you can really feel the energy of the card behind. So you can naturally connect with what's behind that rectangular shape with the number, although you can't see it. So take a moment and pick a card. And once again, what is the current state of my energy? And what do I need to acknowledge to move forward with clarity? And once you're picked, let me know in the chat, what number did you pick? Two, three, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Loads of 2s and 3s. 1. Okay, the 1s are coming. More 3s. Number 3. I pick number 2. Interesting. Okay, loads of 2s. Some 3s. A few 1s. Okay. More 1s are coming. Lovely. So it's an interesting split in numbers, right? So you've been pulled towards different things. And once I show you the cards, I think we will know why the 2 is really pulling you in. I'll explain this in a moment. So, if you picked number 1, your card is the 7 of Pentacles. If you picked number 2, your card is the Chariot. And if you picked number 3, your card is the 9 of Cups. I have selected these cards with the question and intention in mind. tapping into our collective energy field, working with the higher selves of everyone that is present tonight and everyone who is going to watch the recording at a later date. And with that intention and connection, I've asked for guidance for the highest good of all involved. Again, that is appropriate and relevant and supportive for us at this time. Okay, I think the reason why quite a few of you were pulled towards the card in the middle is because it's a major arcana, it's a bigger energy, and it definitely has a bit more of a gravitational field to pull you in. So it's interesting, like that really the cards behind the great overlay, that vibration, I always find it really comes through, even if you're using a digital medium and you're not in front of the physical cards. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each and every card, and you can make notes and you can let me know in the chat what is resonating for you and what is like relevant for you already, and bear in mind our intention as well. And again, you're very welcome to take a little screenshot if that helps you, maybe doing some journaling later on, or if you want to read things again. So in the context of our question, with the Seven of Pentacles, you might notice that your energy is in a season or steady growth that might feel a little bit slow, but is consistent. There is definitely movement, there is growth. It might not feel very glamorous, it might not feel very fast, it might not feel very, amazing, but it's there, it's solid, it's happening. It's a moment of natural pause and reflection. So in this sense, you're very aligned maybe with the feminine side of our May energies with the moon. And it's really a good time to assess whether your energy is still aligned or if there are some areas where we are a little bit disconnected. So it's a lovely time for reflection, and it's a lovely time to really figure out what is stagnant and what perhaps needs to be cleared. It's also a good time to really evaluate what's fruitful. And as you can see from the card, it very much looks like these pentacles are gorgeous harvest from the plant. So it's a time for you to evaluate basically what's worth your time, what's worth your effort, what's worth your energy, and what is giving you back what you're also what is giving back what you're giving out. So balancing the giving and receiving. This is a card of intentional choices, so really aligned with the macro energy of the moon. So if you pick this card, if this is where you are in your journey, you might find that actually May is a welcome vibration for you to go deeper. One thing to note with this card is that yes, it might not be glamorous, and yes, there might not be fireworks or an exciting movement happening, but you're not behind. You're being asked to really realign before the next season, the next growth, the next expansion. So to move forward with clarity, remember that was the second part of our intention. Acknowledge where you've been staying busy out of habit rather than purpose. I think this is going to be a little bit uncomfortable maybe to hear for some of us. And choose to direct your energy where it truly matters now. Okay, so move forward with clarity, acknowledge where you've been staying busy out of habit rather than purpose, and choose to direct your energy where it truly matters now. So this was card number 1, the Seven of Pentacles. And let me know in the chat if this is resonating with you. If you think like, oh yeah, that's definitely me. I can feel it in my energy. 1 was a good choice for me. Okay. We're ready to move to card number 2. There were a lot of 2s in the chat. So the Chariot. This is a major card in the, if you're not familiar with the tarot, major arcana carries big archetypes, big energy, big shifts. They are tangible. We feel them. When we experience them in our lives, definitely we're not going to miss them. It's not day-to-day stuff. It's stuff that we can really feel in our bones. And they can be all-encompassing, all-consuming. So with the energy of the Chariot, your energy is focused and determined. You're very much focused on building on the momentum that you have created already, even though perhaps you're not completely sure about the direction, but you're very focused on continuing. You just know that you need to carry on. It's important that you carry on. It's important that you remain focused, and it's important that your determination continues guiding you. You might have opposing forces or contrasting decisions, different agendas that you are dealing with at the moment. Maybe there is family and work on another side. Maybe there is this person and that other person, this choice and that other choice, this place to live versus another place to live. So you might be faced with a lot of choices that you need to really figure out what's the best one for you. And really, again, grounding yourself in clarity, deciding where you're heading. Definitely, you've done a lot of inner work, certainly to keep yourself going, keep yourself steady through the ups and downs that you've been managing so far. And definitely your energy is ready for more. So there is a sense with the Chariot that yes, you might have been gone through a few hurdles and obstacles already, but there is also this determination that wants to push you forward. You want more, you want movement, you want growth, you want that expansion. This is a card that carries the energy of courage and commitment. And courage doesn't always come with full clarity or with a full roadmap or with a full itinerary. So here is about having the clarity of knowing what the big picture is, and then the details will come through. So as you can see, this card that resonates a little bit more with the Knight of Wands in terms of energy, and it's about like moving forward with really resilience and strength and willpower. It's quite a strongly masculine card, and it's about really aligning your actions to the highest good. So this is the Chariot. Now, to move forward with clarity, we know that we have a little bit of this moon influence going on at the moment, so we need to be clear on how we harness this action, right? So acknowledge where maybe fear or overthinking might be stalling your movement. Like what areas of your life perhaps are experiencing fear or overthinking, and that is perhaps stalling your progression. And reclaim your power by choosing aligned, heart-led action. Reclaim your power. I think this is quite beautiful. Reclaim your power by choosing aligned, heart-led action. Okay? So this is the guidance from the Chariot. I've seen the chat exploding. Give me just one moment. Great. Lots of people is resonating. Amazing. The Chariot definitely resonates with me. Yeah. Lovely. And also the Seven of Pentacles. Lovely. Okay. I love to hear from you what resonates and what you can feel in your energy. And finally, the Nine of Cups. So if you've chosen card number 3, the Nine of Cups is you feel you are ready to be joyful. You feel you are ready to welcome ease, emotional alignment, and just feel fulfilled. You're ready to receive. It's just such a beautiful card where your energy is in a place where maybe you have some challenges in your past, some adversity, but you finally feel that it's safe to feel good again. You might feel good in your body, you might feel good in your emotions, you might feel good in your thought patterns. You feel good, and it's safe to feel that way, and it's safe to receive again. So this might be like maybe you've gone through a breakup, you feel good about yourself again. Maybe you've gone through change and you feel good about receiving something new now, opening a new chapter. So this is a card very much for self-worth and self-celebration, and acknowledging the wonderful human that you are. But it's not just the celebration in terms, oh, let's raise a glass and be merry. It's just a celebration of a journey. The nines carry a sense of completion, 9 of cups. So there is really a sense of pause, feel proud of what you've done so far, how far you come, and also acknowledge that pleasure is a valid part of your journey. It's absolutely fine to be hard workers, but also inviting pleasure in your life. It's absolutely fine to be very committed to your spiritual path, but also inviting pleasure in your life. So you can have that joy, you can have that ease, you can have that. Those desires are ready to be manifested. They're ready to come into fruition. This is where your energy is right now if you chosen card number 3. And to move forward with clarity, the second part of our intention, acknowledge any lingering belief that you need to earn your happiness, okay? That you need to work hard for your happiness to be deserving. And instead, allow yourself to receive fully just as you are, okay? So, last chance to screenshot the 9 of Cups if you need to. I'm going to stop this just for a second. Okay, lots of messages. Lovely. So appropriate for where I am now. Excellent. 9 of Cups resonates with me. Resonates 100%. Lovely. Amazing. Amazing. So make sure that you really refer to that bit of clarity at the end of each of the cards, because that's really what might be the thing that is preventing you from fully enjoying the rewards of all the hard work that you've done. And we don't want that, right? We've been working hard for a reason. So that's definitely something to, I would say, to watch out for. Okay. Now, take stock of the cards that you have received, and I'm going to ask you to join me for the next step, okay? So let's take a moment to pause and reflect. What is it that you're still holding on that no longer reflects who you are becoming? So we want the new. We want the exciting, we want the growth, we want the expansion, we want the abundance, we want all of those wonderful things, right? But before we can welcome those things, we need to make space. And in order to make space, we need to recycle some energy into the universe. So really, I invite you, especially with the guidance that you have received from the cards, to reflect on what is it that is still that you're still holding on to, and that no longer reflects the person that you are becoming. Okay? So reflect on that with me for a moment. And I'm also going to ask you to let me know what is it that you want to invite in. How do you want to alchemize this space? So if you can let go of the old, if you can tap into these beautiful energies, this beautiful guidance, what is it that you want to bring in? And let's really be intentional about this. And if you feel comfortable sharing your intentions, please share them in the chat. I always think that is a lovely way of expanding energy. So let me know if there is a specific intention that you want to call in. Think about what you're releasing and think about what you're calling in. And in order to do that, we're going to use the tarot in a different way. So we use the tarot for overall macro energies. We use the tarot for individual guidance. And now we're going to use the tarot to alchemize energy, to bring energy into the physical, to manifest, okay? I want my time. Yes, lovely. Release a feeling of lack, let go of fear, welcome trust and clarity, beautiful. Beautiful, lovely. Inviting beautiful, abundant, and healing energy. Gorgeous. Get off my hamster wheel. Beautiful intentions. Lovely. Okay. So hold those intentions in mind of both what you want to release and what you want to invite in. And I'm going to transition us into a space of embodiment, in a space where we manifest and ground these energies. And we're going to invite the new with the tarot in a way that is a little bit different. So in the tarot, we have 4 suits. If you're not familiar with the structure of the tarot, it doesn't matter. You're probably familiar with the structure of playing cards. So very much like traditional playing cards, the tarot has 4 suits. The pentacles, the cups, the wands, and the swords. We have encountered a couple of these suits already this evening, and each suit starts with an ace. So number 1 is called an ace, and the ace in tarot represents, I always say, the DNA of the suit, the pure potential, that seed that carries all the wisdom, all the information, all the energy to explode into a beautiful tree. It's a spark of energy that is ready to take form, to get embodied. And obviously each suit is a little bit different because it's connected to a different element, a different vibration. And I'm going to go into that later on. But all the aces have the same quality of being that initial spark, that initial starting point, that pure potential, that DNA. And so often an ace in a reading, in guidance, it's the beginning of a new cycle. And it's an invitation, the way that I put it down here is an invitation to say yes to something. It's an invitation to say yes to a certain energy, to say yes to something fresh, whether it is an opportunity, a mindset, or an inner shift. So that's the energy of the aces. And now holding in your energy, and you might want to ground yourself, making sure that you're present in your body and still aligned, holding what we have gone through this evening, holding the guidance from the cards, and really holding in a gentle way the intention of releasing the old and welcoming the new. I'm going to invite you intuitively, okay? Even if you know the cards, forget everything that you know about the cards, just intuitively pick one of these cards. Either the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, or the Ace of Swords. What do you need the most at this time? To alchemize and ground your intention to release the old and welcome the new. Go intuitively. If you know the tarot, forget everything that you know about the cards. Just go intuitively. And let me know in the chat which one you're picking. Ace of Pentacles, Cups, Wands, or Swords. What are you saying yes to? Wands, 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 loads of wands. Pentacles, some cups, loads of wands. Okay, wands are resonating with people. Swords, some swords, ace of swords, pentacles. Okay. Okay. So let's see what is it that you're saying yes to. So the next part of guidance that I'm going to share with you is really going down a little bit further so that you can take this intuitive guidance that you have received from the tarot. Because I always say, you might not know tarot, but tarot knows you. not in a creepy way, but the universe knows you. The universe knows your energy, So the tarot is kind of, if there is a card that is pulling you in, it's almost like winking at you and attracting you towards its energy. So these cards that we are saying yes to, these aces, these new beginnings, I'm going to give you a little bit more information so that you can get really laser focus on how to alchemize this energy, really understand it. And then before we finish, I'm going to give you some top tips on how to bring that into your day-to-day life. Make sense? So the Ace of Pentacles is about grounded opportunities. new paths in work, well-being, or abundance. So what you're saying yes, if you selected the Ace of Pentacles, is saying yes to opportunities. If someone offers you a new piece of work, say yes to that. If someone offers you an opportunity to look after your well-being, it might be as simple as going for a walk. It might be as simple as getting a free pass at your local gym. Or if someone offers you abundance, whether it is financial, whether it is in a caring, gentle way. So if someone is saying, hey, I'll do this for you. Hey, I cooked for you. Hey, I've done this for you. If someone is offering something that feels abundant to you, say yes to that. That's the energy of the Ace of Pentacles, is the element of earth. So anything that feels grounded and abundant and practical, that's what we're calling in. That's what we're saying yes to. And because it's connected with the element of earth, is a reminder to really looking after our well-being, our physical body, eating well, sleeping well. So saying yes to opportunities to rest, say yes to opportunities to replenish our energy and our body. So every time that you go through small life choices or bigger life choice for the month of May, my invitation to you is to remind yourself that you're saying yes to the Ace of Pentacles. So remind yourself that you're saying yes to those opportunities, those new beginnings in that form with the element of Pentacles. If you selected the Ace of Cups, cups are all about water. That's the elemental connection. And they're all about emotional renewal. So it's about opening your heart, love, intuitive connection. So this is your sign to say yes to anything that brings new emotions, new feelings. And it can be romantic, it could be a friendship, it could be a connection, it could be a new spirit guide that comes in, it could be a pet, but it's saying yes to that heart opening, to new connections, to receiving love. So if someone or something or an energy or vibration is sending that your way, say yes, ground yourself in the Ace or Cup energy. If you have selected the Ace of Wands, which I feel loads of people have selected the Ace of Wands this evening, this is saying yes to the energy of fire, of opportunities and new beginnings that are connected with the energy of fire. And this is all about inspiration, passion, and desire and ambition. So if there is an opportunity for you to say yes to an adventure, as simple as, hey, we never tried that restaurant, we never tried that cafe, or as big as, hey, I have an opportunity to go camping into the wild, do you want to come with me? Saying yes to those adventures and saying yes to things that are inspiring to us. So it might be an exhibition, it might be a new book, it might be a new piece of music, or something that is connected with our creativity, with our passion. Maybe it's a practical project, something that we can bring to life. So your mantra for the month of May is saying yes to anything that is under that umbrella energy around the Ace of Wands. And with the Ace of Swords, if you selected the Ace of Swords, for you is going to be all about clarity, insights, and fresh perspectives, as well as self-expression. So your journey for the coming weeks and what I invite you to say yes to in your energy is very much all about expressing yourself with alignment, expressing yourself with clarity, and expressing yourself of having open conversations, having conversations that are clear, that are not manipulative, and saying yes to an opportunity, to that openness, to that clarity. So any opportunities that come your way, it might be an old friend that you haven't been speaking with for some time, it might be a family member where maybe you have a bit of a confrontational relationship with. If there is an opportunity to have that clear communication, that clarity, even if it's something that is not necessarily going to lead to maybe reconciliation in some cases, say yes to that. Say yes to an opportunity for clarity. If someone maybe at work gives you an opportunity to explain something to you, like talking you through a new software, talking you through a new process, talking you through a new structure, or something that maybe you're not as familiar with, say yes to that clarity, say yes to that insight that might come your way. Okay. Now we have connected with the four aces, and I would love for you to kind of play with this energy. Bring the energy of the four aces with you for the coming days and weeks. And so here are some suggestions of how you can do it. I'm all about the ancient wisdom, but also the modern world. I am an Aquarius, after all. So what you can do is using your ace as your screensaver or wallpaper on your phone so that you have it available to you. So there is something that you see and you remind yourself to say yes to a certain type of opportunity. You can place it in your altar if you have an altar, or like a sacred space in your home or in your healing practice. You can journal with it, just sit with the card and see what comes up for you. And again, you can go back to the slides, you can go back to the screenshots that you've taken this evening. You can also meditate or do some visualizations with each of the aces, depending on the one that you have selected. You can perhaps pin it on your vision board. If you're craving more adventures, maybe you can pin the Ace of Wands on your vision board. And why not? We can also create art inspired by it. We don't need to be great artists to be creative. We can just make and create something. Now, before we go to what's next, I'm going to stop sharing. Oh. Okay, thank you so much. Lots of lovely comments. Thank you for sharing. Good. Okay, so I'm going to take questions at the end. I know there are already a couple of people that asked some questions, so I'll definitely do that before we wrap up for this evening. But the one thing that I wanted to share with you that is part of what Cindy introduced at the beginning is that if you haven't if you haven't gathered this already about me, I'm very passionate about tarot, and there is so much that you can learn about tarot. So if you are a complete beginner and you haven't even touched a tarot deck before, on the 19th of May, we're starting our foundations course, which is going to be, here is a slide with the program if you're curious, but like we cover all the suits. We start from absolute nothing and we go into 2 and 3 card readings, reading for yourself, reading for others. There is a beautiful WhatsApp community around the tarot courses. People make new friends, they meet people that they met before in past lives, they form friendships, like all sorts of things happen, beautiful connections, and beautiful community. If you are a little bit more advanced than foundations, we also have intermediate and advanced courses started on the same week in May, but the special offer, which is the £15 off or the 150 rands off, is just for foundations and is available until tomorrow, Friday the 25th of April, until midnight. I am the creator of all the courses, so if you have any questions, any doubt, if you're not sure if it's right for you or which one is right for you, let me know. You can ask me now, you can message me on Instagram, my handle is @thespiritualflamingo, or just connect with me via the school and I will answer all your questions. Any information that you might need, I'm here to answer those questions. But I'm going to stop sharing now and go into questions. Okay. So I think we had one question. What is the difference between the Rider-Waite and traditional tarot? Okay, so I would say the Rider-Waite-Smith is politically correct to call it Rider-Waite-Smith because Pamela Smith was actually the creator, the artist that created the beautiful images. So we like to include her since she was such a massive part of making the deck happening. Is considered to be quite traditional, is over 100 years old as a deck. Perhaps you're referring to things like the Marcel Tarot or the Visconti Sforza. The structure of the tarot is exactly the same. The main difference and the reason why we use the Rider-Waite-Smith, which basically are these cards that I showed you this evening, is because all cards have images. So all cards, all 78 cards have an image and they don't look like playing cards. So in the Marseille and in the Visconti Sforza, the minors, so the ones that are more similar to playing cards, will actually look like playing cards. So you would just have the 7 coins, for example, or the 7 cups or the 7 swords. And it is a little bit more difficult to get to know the cards because we are relying more on knowledge and intuition and numerology. Well, the Rider-Waite-Smith is really nice, especially for beginners, to really get that visual and then connect with different aspects of the visual. But in terms of the structure, it's exactly the same. And in terms of the meaning of the cards, they're broadly speaking the same. Any other question? Is there a proper way to store a deck of tarot cards? Personally, I am the worst person probably to ask because I have like this really tatty box that I had for a very long time, and I've taken this box with me everywhere. I think it really depends on who you are as a person and your spiritual practice. For me, I really work with intention. So for me, these are my cards. I work with them for the highest good of everyone involved, and I don't need personally to store them in a particular way, but there are beautiful rituals that you can tap into. Some people like wrapping them in silk, some people like putting them like in a wooden box. So it really depends on what is your personal preference. I think there is a lot of myth and legend around tarot, and I think that's beautiful as long as it's something that resonates with you. So I would encourage you to explore what feels right for you, for your practice, from your lifestyle as well. I know tarot readers that keep the tarot cards in like waterproof plastic bags because they're maybe like they're surfers or they're people that live in wetter climates. So whatever works for your lifestyle as well. How do you feel the energy from each card? Do you see, hear, or literally just feel? Kana, is this a question for me, as in me personally, or how does one in general feel those cards? Because in general, you can feel it in any possible way. For me, it's like I have 78 friends. So it's like I have conversations with them and they answer back with colors, with shapes, with sounds, with vibrations. I connect with them vibrationally. But in terms of you or anybody else, it would depend on maybe what is the channel that you're more used to operate within. The beauty with tarot is because there is a structure and because there are things that are hard coded into the cards, even if you're not intuitive or even if you don't consider yourself a particularly psychic person, it doesn't matter. The messages are still there and there is enough structure and information in the actual card for you to get that through the cards. So do you need to be intuitive to be a good tarot reader? Absolutely not. Some of the best tarot readers that I know are actually not intuitives. They just know the archetypes and the energies of the cards very well. And because there is a structure and because there is a system behind it, you can use as much or as little of that system as you want, but the system is there and it can always support your readings. Is there a link between tarot cards and angels? Rachel, I'm not entirely sure what you mean, as in there are angelic figures in the cards and there are angelic energies in the cards. And definitely there are several references, especially in the Rider-Waite-Smith, to biblical iconography. So in that sense, there is a connection, but let me know if yours is like a more specific question. Is having more tarot decks good energetically speaking? I have to say yes, because I have so many. But I will ask truthfully. I think the right amount of tarot decks is the amount that you feel comfortable with and that you feel brings an addition to your practice. The more you work with tarot, the more you will notice the certain decks seem to be more attuned with a certain type of energy, a certain type of client, a certain type of question. I think the only negative side to that is that if you have a lot of different decks, it becomes a little bit challenging to maybe form a deeper relationship with all of them. So I would say have your cornerstone tarot deck, get to know that deck well, and then expand from there, so that then each and every relationship that you have with the different decks is as deep as the one that you have with the first one, your second one, etc. I don't think it disperses energy, if that's what you're asking. I don't think it does. Are your 78 friends your spiritual team of guides and allies? In a way, Rachel, like they're archetypes. The tarot deck is filled with archetypes. So they're vibrational energies that change and upgrade with time, and our understanding of that changes and upgrade. For example, there is a card that is called get this with you, that is called the Temperance, which is a card of healing and flow. Is like, it's the card of the healer, it's the card of flow. It's just a beautiful card with an angel, since we were talking about angels just a moment ago. But with time and with the changes in the world, that archetype has evolved to symbolize the internet and telecommunications and connection and the flow and connection in a different aspect of our life. So it's not just about receiving that healing energy, but it's also connecting and communicating in different and modern ways. I was curious to know if the messages from the cards might be messages from angels. They might be, if that's the intention that you set, Rachel. Yes, and if that's something that resonates with your belief system. What is the difference between tarot and oracle? Very good question. So the main difference is tarot decks, with a few exceptions, but we're going to talk about the standard. Tarot decks have 78 cards. They are divided into major arcana, big energy, big archetypes, and minor arcana. Minor arcana are more day-to-day energies, and they are divided into 4 suits, like playing cards. That's always the structure for tarot cards. It doesn't matter if it's Visconti Sforza, Marseille, the Light Seers, Rider-Waite-Smith, that's always the structure. Oracle cards are very creative. They're based on the intuition, the creativity, the style of the creator. They could be 57 cards. They could be structured. They could be randomly pulled together. They could be anything, really, that the creator wants in terms of the messages, the images, the words, the theme, the style. I use oracle decks as well, but the way, if you learn tarot with one deck, one type of deck, you know tarot. You just need to adjust a little bit. Oracle decks, you need to learn each and every one because they're all different. What does it mean whilst picking up cards if some come up reversed, meaning upside down? Okay, so we covered this in the course. A reversed card, so if one card comes up rather than like this, upside down. Now, traditionally, this would mean a blocked energy, like something that is either negative or blocked is not going to happen. Tarot is evolved, the world has evolved. I feel we're more spiritually and vibrationally advanced, and we work with the tools that we have in different ways. It is entirely up to you to decide as a reader if you want to read reversed cards. I personally don't. Lots of other readers do, lots of my clients and lots of my students do. The important thing is that you make an agreement with your deck. Decide upfront what an upside down card means. Is it something that is subconscious? Is it something that is stuck? Is it something that is hidden? Is it something that hasn't come into fruition yet? Make that agreement first so that when the card comes, you know how to interpret the energy. There are pros and cons to this approach. We go into detail of that in the course. But the short answer is traditionally blocked energy. Nowadays, in modern readings, it depends on how you made that connection with the cards. Okay. Thank you. Lots of really cool questions. Why are two cards popping at once and not one? I'll take this question, then I think we wrap up for the evening. So there
I
are
think so.
there are two answers to that. One, it is possible that you might need to just get a little bit better at shuffling. And sometimes like the ratio between hand and card size is very important. If you have very petite hands and big cards, it can be quite difficult to shuffle. Not necessarily something that you would think about, but that's one of the reasons. If two cards come up and it feels meaningful, it might be because the tarot wants to communicate something else with you. And sometimes the opportunity of you sitting down with the energy gives the tarot an opening to something else. So you receive an extra bonus message. Okay. Thank you so much for all the questions. I don't want to go too much over. It's been so lovely connecting with you all. I hope you enjoyed the readings. Thank you, Cindy, for having me. And I would love to see as many of you joining me in May for our May intake of Foundations in Tarot.
Sole, from myself and the community, thank you so much for your time, your fun. It's just such a fun time. And Soleil's teaching too is fun. And we get great reviews and testimonials. So really, if we were to rate like top tutor, Tarot's the one. So please join Sole. If you're sitting on the fence, reach out with any questions. But thank you all. It's so lovely to see you after the holidays. I'm not sure what our next talks are, but something will be coming out in May. So sending you all lots of love. Be safe. Sole, thanks again. And all have a great time. Take care. Good night.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.